Today, a quite special day. I'm driving home from my work. I was working there, not exactly in this building, a very big company, 5,000 people working there here in Mindelheim. And today, but as usual, today it's the last time I'm driving home. Not because I'm leaving home, because I'm not work here anymore. I make a education as a draftsman. Later on, worked as engineer here. Since 1998, it's lost a quarter of a century. Century? Yeah, century. 25 years, close 25 years, and now I'm have my own company making board games accessories, a 3D art lab, and now we decided I stop working here entirely, and we also going to move to Thailand. Because my wife is from Thailand and we have family there, and we have very few family only here. I talk more about that quite soon. And now I'm just take this as a reason, the last time driving home, to start making a video for a little YouTube channel. I have a channel for 3D Art Lab, of course, but it's for the big adventure of leaving a country, starting living in another country. I guess there will be enough food for good entertainment. So I get started with this channel, and if I'm going home or if I'm arriving at home, I make a little clip again talking about what's going on and how we're going to move to Thailand. So, see you. So, ja, hier wohnen wir idyllisch auf dem Land. Auf einem kleinen Häuschen, aber es ist klein, großes Dreifamilienhaus, noch zumindest. Und ich werde jetzt alles mal auf Deutsch und auf Englisch machen, weil ich kann nicht zweimal klingeln und die Leute kommen überrascht raus. Also meine Kiddies wahrscheinlich. Ich weiß nicht, wer die Tür aufmacht. Also mische ich mal jetzt mal mit Englisch. Okay, so here I'm living in a small village, quite big house, and with my family at the moment before we're moving to Thailand, I guess. And I make everything now in German and English mixed because they can only ring one time at the door. So somebody opens, I don't know, I guess my children. And so I make it in English and German, one video clip together. And let's see who's there and if they're already waiting for me. Hopefully. Ding, 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 ding. I switch. Oop. Oh, don't work. One second. Ja, wer macht auf? Wer macht da auf? Hallo. Hallo, Papa kommt nach Hause zum letzten Mal von der Arbeit. Weißt du, wo wir hingehen dieses Jahr? Mhm. In welches Land fliegen wir gleich?
In Thailand?
Nach Thailand. Genau, freust du dich schon?
Ernsthaft?
Ja, ernsthaft. Und freust du dich?
Heute?
Nein, noch nicht heute, aber bald. Wir brauchen noch erst einen Pass und so und dann fliegen wir nach Thailand, ja?
Du willst Pass haben?
Ja. Okay. So, ich mache dann gleich noch einen Videoclip mit den Großen und mit den anderen. Hallo, ich komme nach Hause, live in YouTube. Nein, nicht live. Das hat sie. Freust du dich auf Thailand? Es ist heute heiß, es ist wie in Thailand heute hier in Deutschland. What's 3D Art Lab? That's the reason why I was able to now stop working in my regular full-time job, because I start making games 4 years ago. Already as children, but in a commercial way since about 4 years ago. Making some miniatures for terraforming Mars, with some resin printer in 3D. Buying 23 of those as it was getting quite big in Kickstarter, and make some, this is just all 3D printing stuff. Later on buying a CNC laser for making some different things like dices, engraved, and leather stuff like here. I have to wash it because now it's the powder is still on top of it, but you see it's some 3D engraved recycled leather. And you can place it inside the CNC cutter and he cut the parts out. That way we make some game accessoires like folders in different sizes with some mechanic inside and crazy stuff. And for painting, paint stands made by me as well. Going to making some UV color print as well. Everything you need to make games, you know. And I also launched various Kickstarter projects, and with everything I earn, I invested back into my company. And now the company is bigger than my regular job, and we said, okay, I can work everywhere now because if I make it this job full-time 3D art lab, so why not move to Thailand? Hi, it's me again. The last part for today. I tried in English as well. That would be not that easy because now it's getting a little bit complicated. Talking much details about why moving to Thailand and the situation here, and maybe I try to keep it as short and as quick as possible. So I love board games. As you can see, I'm a very big board game fan, and I start making games long time ago already as I was a children, and these games was one of my first with my name on it by Yellow. They make a King of Tokyo, if you remember, maybe the same company, and we have some other games like Tara's Core, some hybrid game with some console that now where you have your miniatures and then they talk with you and so on. And then I have to make my own games. Some, what? I don't see if you can see it. Yeah, some with some cardboard stands, and later on bigger projects, and so one project after another. And finally with 3D Art Lab, I'm making big projects and big board games, and now I'm back. So back in my seat. Okay, long story short, this is the thing why I start making board games, loving board games, and why I get the opinion to say, okay, now let's make it a business. And I started 4 years ago, and with multiple different projects, each year a big one and small ones in between. A submarine game as well, but don't have the submarine here. I'll show you another time. Okay, and yeah, so I spend my full time having with my family, my casual job, and all my free time to making games, and starting 4 years ago, because I said, okay, I stopped making that hobby because before I just make very little stuff, and it's not worth with the financial stuff to take care about paying the vet and so on, and you need somebody to help you to explain you how to calculate everything, and so, and if you just sell 2,000 euro a year or so, it's not worth it. So I said 4 years ago, I give it a try and make it as big as possible, as soon as possible. And so 3D Art Lab was born and get bigger and bigger and bigger and making more and more games, and all run very well. And because I'm German want to have everything safe and planned, so I say, okay, I rather like to work more, a double full-time job, so I can keep my regular job as engineer as backup or as primary job, and doing the game design just in my free time. So I spend all my free time, or close all my free time, and doing that. And even if it at the moment where 3D Art Lab making the same budget as my regular job, I still worked full-time as engineer up to the day. And it was a lot of work, but it make no big sense if you earn more budget or more cash if you spend your time in making your dream real than spending the time as just some employee of a company. And now I make that big step, and they have multiple reasons, not only because the company, the 3D Art Lab, gets big enough. One other point is I have family in Thailand. My wife is Thailand. I was flying to Thailand about 12 years ago. End of 2009, I met my wife there. Randomly, I want to meet some letter friend there, and a girl as well, but she have no time. I never see her, actually, but some relatives of my wife are here in Frankfurt am Main in Germany, and they said, why you not meet our cousin or whatever? So it's the sister of the brother of the aunt here living here in Frankfurt, also my wife. So the children of that woman here, and Nuan has the and whatever they say, Nuan, not Noy, have the same close the same age children as my wife is now, and she's a 1988, so 30. What is she? 34 years now. And and so I meet her, and after half a year she flying to Germany, and in July 2010 we married, and yeah, soon after getting children, we have two sons. The small one you see before is 5 years old, Ray, and Rio. Rio, like the Street Fighter Rio, is 10 years now. He want to be a board game designer, of course, because yeah, and he create games like crazy and drafting AutoCAD stuff, and I have to laser cut the toys for him. So very very funny, and yeah, and so I have all my family in Thailand because here my parents get divorced as I was 10, it's a long time ago, and my father is abroad, not in Germany, and my mother died this year, yeah, as well. Already before we have had the plans, I have her so far that she want to make holiday in Thailand so I can show her. Oh, sorry, my handy turned off. Where I was with my mother, yeah, and she wanted to going to Thailand and meet us there as well. Yeah, but then she passed away accidentally, and there's no other family. And in Thailand, we have so much company because, yeah, in Thailand the people have more children, especially the age of my wife's parents, and yeah, and the bond how they're holding together is much closer. Here we have, of course, I have a brother here in Germany, but he live not so close, 1 hour, more than 1 hour, 1.5 hour away by car, and I see him maybe once a year or so. And yeah, in Thailand, if we land at the airport, I remember the first time I landing in Ubon visiting my wife's family, and there was, I don't know, 2,000 of people running around us. All backpacks was all luggage was away. Like, oh, what they're stealing us? Who are these people? And there was all family. They're coming with two pickups, and there was everything from 2 year or 3 year old children up to grandmother, and all relatives and friends and school friends and. Crazy. If I land here in Germany, maybe a friend or my brother and my mother at that time picked me up. And if we come to Thailand, we are never alone. Even if you're then living in a house or staying at the house of her parents, where they have a rice farm near Ubon, there are always friends and friends and uncles and whatever, and so you're never alone. Not like here in Germany. Here in Germany, I have had my mother, yeah, and some friends, of course, and yeah, and yeah, that's the one thing, and yeah, and the second thing is, first, I guess it's not so difficult for me living in Thailand because I'm more like the type of guy. It's enough if I have my games, and you can lock me downstairs for a year and let me work at some crazy ideas or so. If I can, yeah, doing some creative stuff. I have everything I need, and of course I have family with my two children and my wife. I'm already busy, so I'm not the guy who having to go out and having party each day or so. And the most friends are all over the world anyway. I have friends from Australia to South Korea to UK to USA, everywhere. And once I have to visit them or invite them to Thailand, of course. And yeah, so I'm more about chatting and having the communication online, and yeah, and having the close friends here. And I will come back to I will run the business here in Germany like usual. We're shipping from here. I have I built a hall where I place the machines, which are placed right now at this house after I sell that, and so we can do everything as planned, and I'm just free to move wherever I want. I can design and write the games wherever I want in Thailand, and if I'm here for a game fairs and so on, I will travel here. And for big shipping events, I will be here. And I also have friends here who take care, as from partners here. They can take running the machines and sending the things as well. So Jonas writing me right now. I make the video with my handy, so he's the one who, right at the start, the Terraforming Mars project, where I printed a lot of 3D tiles. I was moving 1 month to Thailand, and he running the machines all the time. So he's very, I can trust on him, and he do a serious job, and he want to go the same way and have his own business, and we have a own project as well, and so everything develop in the right direction. And yeah, and the next time in Germany, I don't know where you are, if you are in USA or wherever we have friends and bakers, and maybe not only people knowing me from the games. You're all over the world, but in Germany at the moment it's like the price was getting insane for houses and so on. But I guess now it looks like more like a bubble at the moment, because they moved the rates for if you want to get a credit, how much you need to pay back each year, and how much is the since I forget the rate, the percentage, you have to pay each year to the bank for just that they rent you the money, and they're getting already more expensive because they do it, I don't know, against the inflation or so, and it's getting even crazier. So it's getting tough to getting credit buying a house or getting a good price for a house if you want to sell. 10 years ago, I was buying this one. We was very lucky because I get it from my father. I bought it from my father and don't get anything for free. We believed, this was the most sad thing maybe. My parents get divorced as I was 10 years old, and he promised us, we get this house here in this village, my brother and I. And the other one will get the new house that he buys, some very ugly designer house, very big, and but he ruined everything, or especially the wife from him was very bad, and she take everything and just forced him to get money, and it was very crazy story for another video. But at the end, he need to get even more money and need to sell this house for any price. And my grandmother was still living, and she was 92 at the time, and close above 90 for sure, because she get 94. But she's living long enough that nobody can sell this house because she have had some right to live here for lifetime, and no bank or nobody can buy a house where you have a grandmother included, and except she's your grandmother, and she was very happy that I get the house that way, and very spontaneously. In just 2 weeks, I asked my father, "Hey, why not? We can take it, because if we start saving money to buy a house at that moment, and we just get married and have a 2-year-old son at that time, Rio, my old one, was born there at that time, 2012 and 2013, we're buying this house, and." Yeah, and he want to try to get enough to pay back some the crazy credits he take for the stuff the wife spent, and the crazy design house he built, and so he accepted, and we get the house for about the half price. For that, in that time, the half price for 2013 for a 3-party house with 300 square meters, so quite big house, before 2.5 or 3 families, and that was the lucky thing. And then the price was exploding, and if you get money now, if you sell a house, what to do with the money, because it's getting euro. We have inflation. We have it in many countries over the world, and the good thing is in Thailand, the house prices are quite low, especially in the rate if you compare it now. For a family house, for a small family house here, with now the half size of this one, you can already buy a 300 square meter luxury place in Thailand with a 2,000-3,000 square meter of ground and everything like crazy. And we don't want a guess. I'm not sure what we're going to get, because there are very crazy opportunities or insane opportunities. We saw a house for a 300,000 euro, so not much, and it's not even the last price. You can get it even cheaper, and it's looking like a James Bond living there, with 8,000 square meters, enough place to have some fruits for your own, and having some guest house, and maybe also have a hall for a laser cutter and for business, and that's in Germany. It's insane. The same thing you get there for, let's say, 300,000. You pay here in Germany in the village, 10 minutes from the airport. You pay millions, 10 millions of euros. So that's really insane. But you have to be sure where you want to go. If the children are happy there with the school, that's why we have to plan very much. It depends on if they like the private school or whatever where we're going then. And if we go to Ubon Ratchathani, that's near Laos and Vietnam, on the right side of Thailand in Isan. And that's the region there. And this is the place where my wife is coming from. So if we find a place and there in the city and say, okay, we have enough space, the price is okay, the schools are okay, we're most probably going to stay right there. But if we say no, the school is not, they're not speaking English or whatever, or our children don't like it, I don't know, then we maybe check other places as well, or just go for rent for a year and then buying a house, or if we don't like it, we go to another place, rent something and check that again. So that's coming up, and I will, the family will stay in Thailand, and I will come for all big events like shipping and fairs to Germany. And yeah, so far the plan. And then we have the family there and can stay with them together. And what's more interesting, or as well interesting about Thailand and moving there, yeah, only benefits, I guess. The price is lower. They have energy quite for free, not for free, but 4 times cheaper than here, and the price is still going to explode. We are paying about 10 cents per kilowatt hour of electricity. And yeah, gasoline getting more expensive as well. But if you not drive to work every day somewhere far, okay, you need a car, but you not make great distances. The stuff we're doing for dogfighters, for example, the miniature painting we're doing there, we make a little company and make the miniature painting then in Thailand. The only bad thing in Thailand is that you, as a foreigner, not native people, you can't buy land. You can buy a house, but you can't buy a land. You can rent a land, but then it depends on the if you can keep it. Yeah, and it's I don't know. You can make it for 30 or 40 years or for a longer time, not forever. But then you have to take care that you get it back, or can keep the land for the same price or for a fair price. Otherwise, yeah, what you do, remove your house or whatever. And in this case, it's simple because my wife is there, so I can stay there. We can buy land and everything onto her name. We have children, so even if something happen, we have a 5 and a 10-year-old son, so they will keep it. Even I will keep my my visa to stay there, even if I'm married, of course, and also if you have childrens, and the accounting is Thai, of course. That's why we're waiting now for some paperwork, because with that documents we can then make some Thai passport for the children, and they count as Thai. They can stay then unlimited without any issues, and I just have to make some visa, which you can make longer always. You just have to, all 6 months or once a year, you have to go to some place, and they have it in Ubon Ratchathani as example signs. I don't know, not for long, for a few years or so, or we don't even know that they have it. They have some office for for the foreigners. I cannot speak that word, for the visitors from outside, that they get their visa and that they can take care about that stuff. And even in the worst case, that's close to the airport, so you can take the next flight, go to Bangkok or somewhere, doing the paperwork. But yeah, I guess it will work. But a lot of stuff have to be decided and have to be done. We're selling this house here, as example, right now. Right tomorrow, we have to, soon I have to start cleaning. Tomorrow coming 3 people, the first 3 ones who want to buy it. And yeah, maybe it's getting quick. And even if not, we can even rent it and keep it. But I guess it should be able to sell it well, very well, in relation to what I spent for it 10 years ago. So it was quite lucky. And yeah, even if my father rent it to me, hand it over for free, then I have had to pay my brother out for sure, and then I would have to pay the same price at that time as well. So it's close the same that I get it for free than the price that I paid 10 years ago. So yeah, and from that money we can make a living in Thailand and even have enough safety that we don't have to take care, even if I make no big income. But at the moment, 3D Art Lab work running quite well. We're making big games, and now I can spend full time finishing games, making new games after. So everything looking quite perfect now, and I can push things forward. So I'm really looking forward to get things done and making even more awesome projects and being on the fairs. And yeah, that's awesome. And I'm going to make many little videos now, talking about details about why to make the decision. I forget, in the German version I talked about that. You want to have safety. That's the bigger thing. I have had 2 jobs, my regularly as engineer and my board game stuff, because even at the moment I make the same budget with that. You not want to risk anything, so keep both. But at one point, you maybe have some similar simulation. Want to move somewhere, maybe have to give up some job or starting a new job. Sometime it's time to risk something, and it's hard. Maybe you fall back. I guess they give me the job back if I would return, but I feel so free, and I want to, even if I have to give 200% and working 20 hours a day, I would go that way, because it's the way I love. And the only thing I regret, but not really regret, I would say I should make that even earlier, much earlier, making my own company and making my own thing. But priority at that moment, 10 years ago or even before, I married, I get children, spend much time with them, building up this house, also making things in this house new, building the kitchen a new one, and making things like that we have with family. Spending much time with my wife, taking care of her, because it was new world for here living in Germany, and so that all cost a lot of time, and I just was not able to spend another full-time job to making board games, and that changed 4 years ago, and now full speed ahead. And so have a nice day, and I will return talking about. I have no detailed plan. I guess the general idea was about talking about the life changing, about making decisions for just something new, and crazy things will happen, funny things will happen, things will not run, and it's really thrilling. And I guess it's maybe would be funny to share that. Maybe it not work. Maybe I cannot sell this house. Maybe we don't. Okay, I guess for sure we can go to Thailand. I don't see any risk that it won't work, but crazy things can happen. The only thing, as example, I'm afraid of, it may happen that we're moving now to Thailand. I'm going there with them, flying back here to take care of business here in the spring, in the autumn time, as example for the game fair in October, and then maybe Corona things getting insane, and if there is just like you have to go 2 weeks in a hotel before you can leave Thailand, enter Thailand, then we can do. But if they're getting insane, and maybe I'm sitting here, and that's the only thing I'm very scared of. Then I have 1 or 2 months, or maybe the entire winter, I cannot fly back to my family. That would be very, very bad. But at least they have big company, so they're not alone. They have the entire family. And but I would be very sad if I only can video chat with my children. So I really, really hope it would be possible to fly over again and again. And they're not getting insane as they already did so the last years, and for nothing. And that's something that can happen, and many things can happen if you buy a house and it's the wrong one or whatever. So it's getting to be a thrilling story. And on the other side, if I cannot fly to Germany, it would not be that bad, because everything, I have company here, and they can, especially my closest friend here, Jonas, I guess he would take care about machines and even sending things out, and I can even prepare many things in Thailand and just send over here. So we can for sure take care about the business, and that will work. But hopefully for everybody, I hope we are still all free to move wherever we want to live, and getting no crazy issues with traveling restrictions or whatever. So good luck. I will be back with many videos like that about the entire situation, and let me know if you like it, and let me know if you have questions, especially about everything related to that, so I know what you want to know. Maybe I can make some specific new videos depending on to what questions you ask. And so let's see where the journey goes. So have a nice time, have a nice summer. Ciao.